Welcome back. Chapter 46. Simon. I parked across the street from Harriet's and turned to Charlie. When I said I wasn't letting you out of my sight, I wasn't kidding. If this is where you want to stay tonight, you better be ready for some company. I hope she realized how serious I was. After more than 6 weeks apart with nothing but questions and unknowns between us, I wanted us on the same page when it came to our future. I knew what I wanted. Charlie in my bed every night with my ring on her finger. My store of patience had run dry. After facing possibility of losing her, I wasn't going to rest until I locked down forever with this woman. Go ahead. She looked up from beneath her dark lashes and shot me a saucy smirk. Since I wasn't planning on letting you leave, that works for me. I reached for the door handle, but Charlie was already out the car and crossing the street. What the hell was her hurry? Impatient or anxiety or something else I couldn't quite identify had me rolling off her since she asked me to bring her back to the apartment after dinner. As much as I wanted to tuck her into my bed, I hadn't argued. Strangely enough, she suggested leaving Huck curled up at my mother's feet. Something was up, but I had no idea what. With Charlie, it could be anything. When I climbed out of the car, she was already shoving her key into the ancient lock. Excited to see Harriet? I asked. She smiled and held open the gate. You first. What's going on here? She bit her lip, unsuccessfully holding back a laugh. Just roll with it, Simon. I leaned down and brushed a kiss across her hair. Only for you. I walked through the narrow passageway into Charlie's garden oasis and stopped dead. Dozens of fat white pillar candles sat on the table. The edge of the fountain and the pond on the ledges of the brick walls and around the splash pool. The yellow flames flickered in the evening breeze. I spun in a slow circle, taking it all in. A romantic gesture from Charlie? Go ahead, Charlie. I like where this was headed. How did you manage to pull this off? I asked, finishing my circle just as she tugged her black t-shirt over her head and dropped it on the ground. The best sort of deja vu rushed through me. Harriet. And she was kind enough to give us some privacy. She reached behind her back and unclasped her bra. It dangled from her fingertips for a moment before it landed on her shirt. She was so goddamn beautiful, she stole any other thoughts straight out of my head. I watched with pure male appreciation as she told off her chucks and reached for the zipper on her jeans. She shimmied them off as she said, last time I tried this, you told me to let you know when I was ready for more than a quick fuck. She exposed the pale, white skin of her legs as she kicked her jeans and panties aside, and I fought to follow her line of conversation. I remember saying something like that. This is me telling you without a single reservation that I want more. A whole hell of a lot more, Simon. I want it all with you. My heart hammered at her words and the sight of her before me, naked in every way. No walls, no masks, no secrets, no lies. Just Charlie, my inked, pierced, beautiful Charlie. My already wide smile stretched further. That's convenient because I wasn't going to take no for an answer. She tilted her head. An answer to what? I stuck my hand in my pocket and felt the ring that I've been carrying around since yesterday morning. After my grand airport reunion plan had been derailed, I told myself I was going to wait. That I wasn't going to do this tonight. That I was going to let her settle in for a few more days before I brought it up. But for some reason, I kept the ring in my pocket anyway. And I was glad as hell because I couldn't let this moment pass without asking. I dropped to one knee on the concrete in front of her, pulled the ring out, and held it up. She slapped a hand over her mouth. Are you serious? Now? You're doing this now? While I'm fucking naked? Seriously? I grinned. Now was the perfect time. I reached for her left hand. Charlotte Augustin, I love you. Every goddamn piece of me, including your past, because it made you who you are and it brought you to me. I want to spend the rest of my life with you by my side. I want to stand up in front of God and everyone and make you mine. Will you marry me? She squeezed her eyes shut. Why do you never do what I think you're going to do? I lifted her hand to my lips and kissed it. That's not the answer I was hoping for, baby. Jesus, Simon, you realize we can never tell this story to anyone? Because if you tell anyone we got engaged while I was naked. I stood and drew her against me. Is that a yes? She reached up to wrap her arms around my neck. Just before she pressed her lips to mine, she whispered, of course, it's a yes. The kiss started sweet, but I couldn't stop myself from taking over. I would never get enough of her. Never. When we finally separated, I remembered the ring, which I managed not to drop. I reached for her left hand again and stared into her shimmery aqua eyes as I slid it onto her finger. She glanced down at it for a moment before twining her fingers in mine. The diamond flashed in the candlelit light as Charlie led me toward the edge of the pool. Releasing my hand, she stepped down the stairs and sank into the water. With her hair floating around her on the surface, she looked like a pagan goddess. Thank God Derek got drunk enough to want Mandy's name tattooed on his ass. You coming in? She asked. I tugged off my t-shirt and stripped my shorts and boxer briefs in no time. Wherever you are is where I want to be. A soft smile stretched across her face, and I knew that if I could make her smile like that every day for the rest of my life, I'd be a damn lucky man. I descended into the pool and followed her as she floated backwards. Trapping her against the concrete edge, I ducked my head to kiss her shoulder, her neck, and then her jaw. So, you say you're ready for a whole hell of a lot more? She threaded her fingers through my hair and met my eyes. I'm ready for anything as long as it's with you. Not just anything, Charlie, everything. And that's the end of chapter 46. All right. The last bit of this book is the epilogue. So stay tuned for the epilogue. See y'all there.